All right. Hi. So, welcome to this training I'm going to run you through here. I feel like the one thing that I feel when people are like, what are you doing? Like, what's working for you? I feel like the one thing that really works for me is my social media. And since it is the thing that I feel like, where we run our businesses and where we find people, I feel like it's super important to kind of master it, and things are changing all the time. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is kind of my tips on how to never run out of content, because I cannot stand when people are like, well, no, it's not that I can't stand it. It's just like, I just feel like it's not true, and you let it be an excuse. So when people are like, I just don't know what to post about, or like, my life is really boring, so then you just don't post. And it's like, okay, but that's not really true. It's just a story we tell ourselves. And I remember when I first started, I didn't think my life was interesting at all. I mean, when I first started, I was suicidal and depressed. So I definitely didn't think I had anything inspiring to share at all. But, you just start showing up, and eventually you kind of find yourself. So I want to walk you through, and if there's any questions at all on this, make sure you just type them in the chat so I can get to them at the end. Because if Cassandra, can you mute yourself? Or can we mute you? Make sure y'all are muted too. I have you guys muted, but if I read questions while I'm talking, then I'll get super distracted. But I want to walk you through how to create content like a motherfucking boss without wasting all of your damn time. So let's get in. Okay, so I know that this is kind of like basic, and sometimes I like putting this together, I was worried that maybe this would be too basic, and it's like you guys are going for diamond and beyond. But if we don't master, I talked to you guys last week about our foundation of our house in this business is Success Club. So I am not impressed if you can get to diamond if you can't hit Success Club. But I also feel like the other part of our foundation is our social media. And so there might be some basic things in here, but hopefully there's some takeaways that you can implement to level up your game, because you need to stand out. There's a ton of people, millions, billions of people on social media. How are you going to stand out? So first things first, let's talk about Selfie School. I want you to start being a student of Selfie School, and just start taking a ton of selfies. When I first started coaching, I used to think that people who took selfies were narcissistic. Now I take them all freaking day long, and I realize, like, the only time that you hate on somebody else for doing something if they're like taking a selfie and they're proud of the way they look and you hate on that, it's really only because you're insecure yourself, right? Which is true for me, for sure. I was definitely super insecure, and that is why I judge people who did that. So what I want you to do to take good selfies, here's some staples. And I will post this presentation at the end, so feel free to take notes if you want, but I'll also share it into the group. But get ready once in a while. It's awesome that some of you, are, maybe you do this business full-time and you work from home, or maybe you're a full-time mom. And it's awesome that we can do this business while looking like a hot mess. And I definitely think it's important for people to see that side of us as well, that you don't have to be 100% put together. But at the end of the day, what we're selling is not fitness programs and shakes. We're selling our lifestyle. And so if you're always looking like a hot mess, it's not super inspiring. Like, you really want to create a picture of a lifestyle that people want to be a part of. And so sometimes, wear your hair down, do your makeup, wear normal clothes and not just exercise clothes, and paint the lifestyle picture of like this. It's a life that people want to be a part of, right? Because that is what we're selling. So sometimes have the hot mess, but a lot of the times make sure that you're also putting a put together you out there. One of the most important things, I think, is making sure that your photos are light, bright, and eye-catching, because people's thumbs are moving a million miles a minute. They're scrolling like crazy, either on Facebook or on Instagram. I would say Instagram more now than Facebook is what my business has moved towards. So if your photo is not light, bright, and eye-catching, and it's like dark and murky and like, like blurry or really pixelated or something, then it's not eye-catching enough to stop the scroll. You want to think like, if people are scrolling real quick, what's going to stop their scroll? So it has to be a light, bright, and eye-catching photo, which means the best thing to do is head to a window or head outside. Like outdoor light, natural lighting is the absolute best. But if you don't have natural lighting, like right now, I don't have an office. I mean, we live in the tiniest apartment right now. But what I do is I set myself up in front of this window and I have my ring light on, because that, even if I don't have my ring light on, like if I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to take them facing the window. And I was shocked at how many people at Summit came up to me and were like, hey, can I take a selfie with you? And had no concept of where lighting was. And I also see a lot of coaches don't know where lighting is either. Always make sure that the light is facing you to get the best, most natural light, bright, and eye-catching image. And if you don't have natural light because it's, you're inside or like have no windows or it's dark out or something, I'm trying to figure out, can you guys mute your phones, please? Or your computers or whatever?
So that's crazy.
Let me figure out how I can
I'm doing that thing.
reach this person. Brittany Carlo, can you please mute yourself? So if you don't have a window or natural light at your disposal, then invest in a Diva light. I have the knockoff version, which is like the newer ring, but if you type in Diva ring on Amazon, it'll come up. It's like NEWEER. It's $100 for this light, and it's a tax write-off. It's an investment in your business. It'll level up your photos. So like a lot of people work out in their basements, right? It's dark, it's gross looking, it's like not light, bright, and eye-catching, so it's not stopping a scroll. Invest in a Diva ring. And then you also want to figure out what your visual brand is, right? And then you want to edit your photos according to that visual brand. So rather than every photo having a different look to it, use the exact same filter. So now there's something, which I guess it's been around for a while, but it's new in my world, called Lightroom. And you can go on Etsy and you can just download Lightroom presets. So Lightroom Mobile on your phone is a free app. And if you go to Etsy, you can get like presets for $5 or create your own. And that way, every photo you have, you can apply through that filter. And then just tweak it a little bit, because every photo will need a little bit of tweaks. The app that I used before Lightroom was Snapseed. And I would always brighten the photo, make things more white, and then I'd pop the colors. So I always have this, I knew the exact same exact steps, like formulation for every single photo. So that way, when someone's going to your grid, your photo grid, like they're going to your Instagram, that's what they do. Before they decide to follow somebody, they pull it up, they go to their Instagram page, and they'll look and they'll do some scrolling and say like, is this person interesting? And if it's not visually appealing, like if it doesn't appeal to them visually, then they're out. I do that all the time. I'll see one photo in my Explore and I'm like, oh, that's a sweet photo. I'll go to their page and I'm like, ugh, this is chaos or like dark, or if it's not interesting, right, then I'm out. I don't follow them. So figure out what your visual brand is. And it doesn't have, like Angie has a very like Disney, super fun, colorful, very strong visual brand. I think, yeah, Mandy, I went to your page. She has a very strong, like kind of black and white visual brand. I also use a colorful, not quite as like beautiful as Angie's, but I have that. Amy Silverman has a brand that's darker. It's like a little bit moodier, but it's still eye-catching. Like, she uses a lot of natural light, gets outdoors, so she has a very strong visual brand. And so figure out what you're interested in and then find filters that apply to that. And if you don't want to buy a Lightroom preset or whatever, then just make sure you're using the same formulation. You're tweaking these same things on every photo. Of course, this is super basic, but smile into the camera. I can't tell you how many people you can tell when someone's looking at themselves versus looking into the lens of the camera. Right? So when you're doing this, make sure you're looking into the lens of the camera, not at yourself. I always look at myself first, decide, okay, I like, I'm in the frame, I like this lighting, whatever, I like it. Then before I hit the picture, then I look in the lens. Already mentioned get outside. Play around with angles, timers, and portrait mode. If you have an iPhone, there's something called portrait mode where it blurs the background, but there's also apps that you can buy where you can or just download that you can blur the background. It makes that pop. But take a lot of selfies, yes, but don't just have like the one standard angle. And I'll show you what I mean by that on this next page. And then before you post, ask yourself, would this stop your scroll? Now, you don't have to have your visual brand look like any, Mandy, Angie, Emily, or mine, or any other top coach. Go search out people's accounts, find the ones that you appeal to, and if you're about to post something and it would stop your scroll, perfect, because you're only looking for more people like you. But if you're like, this would not stop my scroll, it is dark, it is yellow, it is murky, it's not a great photo, then don't post it. Do a better job. Take more time with this. Because your social media is your magazine. So you want to make it look pretty, but you're the editor of the magazine. So you get to decide what kind of magazine you want it to be. So here's what I mean. I borrowed some pictures from some of my friends about playing around with angles, because the same old tired, sweaty post-workout bathroom bedroom selfie is not interesting. And I go to people's pages, and if I see like their whole last 9 photos is like basically a selfie, and there's people that like the side angle, so I'll be like, it'll be the selfie in this side of their face, right? In their same basement or like bathroom, dark brown, everything like murky, yellow, whatever. So someone goes to that grid and they're like, cool, this person likes to take pictures of themselves and work out. Cool. But if there's not a variety of photos, then it's not visually appealing. That's also a part of your visual brand. So here's a few ideas. This is my girl, Laura. I'm gonna go like top left, right? So over top left, Lori is indoor, but she's by a window. So that's a selfie, but by a window. It's light, bright, not catching. Letty, the second one in with the curly hair there, she got outside, used natural light. She put her phone on a timer and propped her phone up. So it was like someone's taking a picture of her. So it's playing around with angles. Emily, this is where I'm talking about, like, if it's dark outside and you don't have the ability to have like natural outdoor light, you can see right there, I think in the top left of her picture, that ring light. So she has her ring light on. It's still light, bright, not catching, even though it's at night. And I'm not sure if this is her phone on a timer or if she asked her husband to take a picture, but don't be afraid to ask somebody to take a photo for you. And if you don't have somebody, invest in a tripod or prop it up. I don't even have a tripod still, 5 years into this business. I just prop my shit against usually water bottles because they're heavy enough, and put my phone on a timer and take it. This picture of Tanya, this is in portrait mode. So this is where I'm talking about where the subject, Tanya, pops and the background's blurred. It looks really professional, right? And this was someone that took her photo in portrait mode. Another thing you can do to vary things up is using objects. I like to use, my kid or my dog, or graphic tees are a big thing. Or I feel like right now those mugs with like words on them, that's a big thing. But that breaks up your feed. That's still a selfie, but something that aligns with your brand, right? This is Autumn creating kind of a FOMO. She put her phone on a timer. This is her on vacation with her husband. And this picture, even though it's a selfie because it's phone on a timer, it's like in the middle of her life. And that creates FOMO. People are like looking at that like, oh, I want to be there, right? She looks happy. It's bright, it's eye-catching. And so think about that also. Your selfies don't just have to be post-workout selfies. It can be you living your life, and it should be you living your life, creating FOMO for people. And then there's just another option for angles. This is my coach, Jamie. This is a view from above. And that's also kind of a product seed planting. Same with Letty over here, where she's got she's got Energize in her cup. And I can't remember what she had. I can't remember if she had Shakeology or Energize in here. But you can kind of reference that as well without like screaming it. It's going to create some curiosity there. So there's a few different ideas on how to take selfies and make them interesting. So it's not just the same old every time. All right, here are your stop being a basic, be a basic rules. It's your magazine. You are the main subject. So if you were creating a film and your social media was that film, you would be the lead actress or actor. And I think everyone's girls in this group, right? So there's supporting cast, but you are by far the lead. So there might be some pets, some kids, but it's mostly going to be you. And as you're posting and with your captions, so the last 2 slides talked about photos, really. Now this is more about kind of captions. I want you guys to have an opinion. You're allowed to be who you are and talk about things that are interesting to you, knowing some of your things are going to rub people the wrong way. I know because I swear, there are some people that don't follow me because I swear. I know because I drink and I'm a mom, there are some people that don't follow me because of those things. And that's okay, because I'm not trying to talk to everybody, I'm trying to find the other Ashleys of the world. So I have an opinion, and I know that sometimes I'm going to post things that are going to turn people off, and that's cool, because I don't want to talk to everybody. If I'm trying to please everybody and just being all political about shit, then I'm really not talking to anybody. I'm not landing with anyone. It comes off as inauthentic. That's one thing that Angie was talking about on Saturday or Friday. Can't remember what day that was that she did that training. And she talked about just owning who you are and being authentic. So that includes having an opinion and, you know, down here, standing firm in your beliefs and being okay with it. And also engage with people. So ask questions in your post. Like, I remember in the beginning when I was trying to boost my engagement's a little bit more organic now, where people just comment. I don't have to necessarily ask all the time for things, but there's a few things that in the beginning you kind of have to train your audience into like engaging with you, right? So I also just want to make sure, I didn't even ask, but you guys can see me and hear me, right? Like, yes. I just want to make sure everyone can. Okay, good. I was like, what if I went this whole time and no one can? Okay, good. So, so what I was doing in the beginning, you kind of have to train your audience to be interactive with you. So in the beginning, a few of my like popular posts were when I was looking for a new mascara and I asked for recommendations. Or I was looking for a new blender and I asked, like, is the Vitamix worth it, or something like that. And then people that have, you know, strong opinions about their blenders, because I actually have a very strong opinion about Vitamix. It's a really quick thing for them to respond to. Another one that I asked about was a vacuum cleaner. Like, we were looking for a new vacuum cleaner. But I was asked, instead of like, what are you doing this weekend? It's I think people don't think that we actually care what they're doing this weekend. So they don't, like, I never would have been like, oh, she really does care. Let me tell her what I'm doing this weekend. But if someone wants an opinion on something, it's very quick, and I'm much more likely to give that. So another thing that you can do is, like, I'm sure you've seen a ton of these where it's like, help, which shoe should I wear with this outfit? Or which dress should I wear to this party, or whatever, right? A or B. And that's just really quick, but it boosts engagement. So stuff like that. So start like creating a conversation with people that way and get them used to engaging with you on your post. And that means you also have to respond back. In the beginning, you should be responding to every single comment, every single one. On every single post that you put up and every single story that you put up, right? Most of you are probably doing that, but if you're not, you should start right now. And let people, one thing that I'm loving now is Instagram stories. That's by far my favorite platform. It used to be Snapchat, but it was just too hard to manage both. So now I'm just only on Instagram stories, but that's by far my favorite platform. I make sure my feed is really, you know, curated and beautiful and eye-catching. Instagram stories isn't anything goes, right? So that's where you can really let people into your world and your personality. You can show people what you're into. It should not be curated and beautiful. It should be literally like a behind the scenes life into your world. And I would caution you that, like, you're a Beachbody coach, but you're not just a Beachbody coach. So your stories should not only be about Beachbody. They should be about, like, it shouldn't just be, I'm drinking my pre-workout. Now I'm doing my personal development. Now I did my workout. Here's my sweaty selfie. Now I'm working my business. Now I'm having my shake. Like, it should be can include those things, and it should, but it should also include all, if you guys ever watch my stories, you'll see the consistency in the business. You'll see me work out. You'll see me talk about my Energize. You'll see me do those things, but you'll also see me out on date night. You'll see a lot of my kid and my dog, and you'll see me doing makeup, and you'll see me, you know, when I'm shopping or like anything, or if I'm having a struggle, I'll talk about that. But just let people into your world and your personality. And of course, talk about the vitals. Like, you are a coach, so you can talk about the vitals. Like, share your personal development with people in stories and on your posts. Talk about your workout and show your consistency there, and your shake, and, you know, recognize people. You can recognize people in your Instagram stories. Like, challengers that you're working with, or if you're as you're building your team and you become more and more of a leader, you'll be able to recognize your coaches on there. You can just shout out like friends in the beginning, but do work those 4 vitals in a public way on your stories and in your posts. And then just also make sure that you are trying your best to add value to people's lives every day. So that's another thing. When you are thinking about putting a post up, you ask yourself, is this eye-catching? Is this going to stop a scroll? If the answer is yes, great. Now the caption, you ask yourself, is this serving my tribe today? Like what am I helping people with this post? Am I making them laugh? Am I teaching them something? Am I inspiring them? And your sweaty selfie saying like, oh my God, I got my workout in today. Day 6 of 21-day fix, so hard. Fist bump. That's not really inspiring, right? Talk about why you showed up. Was it hard? Did you want to? Did you struggle? Did you have to pause? Did you feel amazing? And you can have like a non-scale victory. Why are you showing up, and what do you feel about showing up that day? Not just that you showed up, right? Tell the story behind it. Add value that way. So today, my workout post that I put up talked about how I'm starting round 2 of Transform 20 today. So the change that was totally a non-scale thing from day 1 of round 1 to day 1 of round 2. So it is my workout post, but I also want people to read it and learn something from it. And, so figure out, how am I serving my tribe? Instead of this is not just the Ashley show. I could have just put up, started, round 2 of my Transform 20 today. Wow, I feel strong. Okay, but that doesn't teach anyone anything. Nobody's really inspired by that. Like, I want people, when they're reading my captions, to think that's me, or I've thought that too, or she's talking to me, right? Or it's like she's in my head. So think about how you can serve people. And of course, sometimes serving people means that you share your struggles because you want to be authentic. Now, when you share your struggles, you can't just show up and like be super negative about it. I usually don't share my struggle until I've worked through it, because I feel like if I'm just sharing my struggle, everybody that's watching you has their own struggles. They've all got their own bullshit. They've all got their own like negative stuff going on in their world, their own mess behind the scenes. And so if you're just throwing more mess out there, it's not inspiring, because they've got that mess. They've got enough of the mess already. But if you're sharing your mess and you have a message from that mess, like, when I shared about my depression, I share how I'm able to kind of work through that. When John and I have marriage troubles, I've shared, how do we work through that? When I have issues with my body, I don't just say, God, I feel fat today. I share how I'm able to kind of work through that. So spin it to win it. You no longer own your social media. Yes, it's your magazine. Yes, it's your storefront. You no longer own it. You have to think about how it's going to be received. So you can't just show up and bitch. I talked about that you're not a Beachbody coach. And some things, if you're stumped, like what could I post about today? If you don't know what to post about, ask yourselves these questions. Who is the old you? Right? Who's the old you? Who is the you that you like? Talk to the you that you were, or talk about the you that you were when you found Beachbody. What are you struggling with? What were you struggling with? And what are you struggling with now? What's your biggest excuse? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's you don't like to work out in the morning. Maybe it's, you don't like the way that you look in the mirror. What's your biggest excuse? Tell a story around that. How will you conquer that excuse, or how have you? What are you hopeful about? That's a great one for coaching, because I feel like a lot of times people, if they're not like making 6 figures and doing this full time, they think that their coaching story isn't inspiring, and it's just not true. One of the things that's amazing about coaching in the beginning is I know for me, it allowed me to dream. It allowed me to think about my future and plan for it and be in charge. And I felt hopeful instead of just like I had to climb the ladder and check the boxes, right? And sometimes it's just, how did you win today? What struggle did you face today? How did you win? All right, so what makes a good caption? Talked about a few ideas there, and I'm going to give you a few ideas here. So short and sweet one-liners. I think, it's tempting when we talk about storytelling, like storytelling is really important, but you can't have super long captions on every post. In fact, the majority of your posts need to be short, like it should be 5 sentences or less. Should be the majority of your captions. If you're doing long caption after long caption after long caption, people do not have, what do? They have like their attention span is like 3 seconds or 2 seconds or something like that. The attention span is shorter than a goldfish is the statistic I've heard. So if all you're doing is long captions, I follow people. In fact, I just had a call with one of my coaches recently, and she asked for feedback on her thing. And I'm like, I love you, but I don't read any of your captions because every one of them is too long. And so maybe there's some really great gold mines in there, but I'm like, no, it's too long. I don't have the time or attention for it. Whereas if most of them were shorter and I liked what she had to say, when they throw up the long one, I'm more inclined to read it because I'm already bought into who that person is. So short and sweet one-liners, an idea for that would be diamonds were a girl's best friend, and then yoga pants happened. I love little funny things like that. And with that, the picture would probably be me in yoga pants, right? It's a selfie set up, me in yoga pants. You can also use powerful negative wording, something like, I never thought I would feel comfortable in my own skin. And this picture could be you wearing shorts for the first time, or, swimsuit with your kids on the beach. Or maybe it's just the fact that you put on a dress for a holiday party coming up and before you've declined holiday parties because you were too ashamed of your body, right? So that's a powerful story as well. Ask a question. This is going back to engaging with your audience, but you can also say something like, have you ever felt like you had no control over your life? And with this could also be something with coaching. Like, have you ever, and maybe this is a picture of you like working your business, you at your computer, or you at a coffee shop with your earphones in, or you in personal development, right? And starting that and saying, have you ever felt like you had no control of your life? I remember, and if it was me, my story could be, I remember 5 years ago when I was living in a body that I hated, and I was just checking boxes, going through the motion, had no idea what my future was going to look like. I just felt like I had no control, and I hated everything. Now, because of coaching, right? And then you tell the story. So ask a question and relate to people, because again, you want people reading it thinking she's talking to me. You can use emotional power words like, I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. And for me, this could be a picture of me with, my brand is hugely about self-love now. So this could be a picture of me where I am showing cellulite or stretch marks or some belly rolls. And it could be my secret is that it was never my body the whole time. It was the way I thought about my body, right? So that's an eye-catching, like emotional power word, but maybe my secret is not what you would naturally think of my secret would be. You can also talk in numbers, something like 21 days ago, I was not the same girl. And in fact, I did that today on today's post. I was like, 6 weeks ago, physically there might not be a lot of changes, but 6 weeks ago, I was not the same person. And that was, I did a transformation photo, but it was a video. I actually did a transformation photo and a video of my workout on day 1 of round 1 and then day 1 of round 2 and the different and how much stronger I got, right? So there's just a few ideas on putting captions with your photos. All right, so I mentioned that we are not just Beachbody coaches, right? We are Beachbody coaches, but that doesn't make us unique because there's also 400,000 other Beachbody coaches. But what makes you unique is you. Because you are the only place we can get you. And so my job, I feel like our job, you might think now that you're a coach, your job is to sell fitness programs and shakes. In fact, your job is not to sell anything. Your job is to figure out what makes you happy, light yourself up from within because you're so happy, and then share that happiness with everybody. That's all you have to do. You don't have to sell anything. You're just sharing it with everybody. And because there's tons of people out there waiting in the dark and they're looking for a light, and you get to be that light for people. So it's not just a Beachbody thing. It is 100% about that lifestyle that you can show people. This is, and again, telling your story like I was unhappy and here's how I changed things. Become that lighthouse. And so here's a few ways to do that. You can talk about what your why is in this business, why you're working so hard. Why are you working out? Why are you showing up? What are you working for? Why are you doing this business? Why are you cutting out TV? Why are you saying no to social things? What are you working for? What is your why? Talk about that. Talk about the sacrifices you have to make. Having an attitude of gratitude. This is huge because there's always something to be thankful for, and people that are unhappy generally aren't practicing gratitude. And so if you're feeling stuck in your business right now, or you're feeling woe is me and throwing a pity party because you're getting a lot of no's because it's that season, stay rooted in your gratitude. Show up every day being a ray of sunshine. What has being a coach changed about your life? Make people want to be a part of what you're doing. You can create FOMO just simply by being happy. You guys know, a lot of people are like, oh, I couldn't do your job. I hate social media because it's so negative. In fact, I was just talking when we were at the Superstar thing this week, and I took my coach Autumn, and she has this girl who she's like, she would be a rock star coach. She's so good, like so personal, blah, blah, all the things that make someone a rock star coach. And she told her, I just don't think I could do it because I feel like social media is so negative. But now that I'm so immersed in the Beachbody world, I feel like my feed's really positive because Beachbody coaches are positive. But most people aren't following a shit ton of Beachbody coaches. Like, you might be the only one to start with. And maybe you're the only ray of sunshine that they see in their feed all day, especially like during this political season, like what's going on in the world. Like, it's real easy to bitch and complain. Misery loves company. Be that ray of sunshine that's going to make you stand out. Of course, share your transformations, but you can share other people's as well. In the beginning, as you start growing and as you get into Diamond, you'll have a ton of transformations to share, but you can share your own because this isn't just about you. It is about other people, and you're here to help other people. And so I think showing that you've helped other people is huge because people are watching you and they're doubting you. Probably a lot of you are getting the price objection. I do not believe that people cannot afford our products. I believe when someone says to me, I cannot afford it. I mean, there are some people that definitely can't afford it. But in general, I think people spend money on things that they feel like they see the value in. And people buy things all the time that they can't afford. You've all done it. There's a time in your life where you're like, I am so broke. And yet you still bought that thing that you had to have. You figured out a way to do it. And so I think there's people watching you that don't trust that this will work for them or that you can help them. And if you can share other transformations of people that you've worked with, that every time you do that, that helps reaffirm for them, like, oh, okay, maybe she can. And then I also think it's super important to show consistency. I think it's really important to do a program start to finish and not just like dibble dabble in all of our programs and kind of do whatever you want on Beachbody On Demand. Because yeah, you're working out every day, but what I want people to see is you showing up every day and doing a program, and they get to be a part of your transformation because people are watching. They're seeing you change every single day, and they're seeing your results. And so take them on the journey with you. Share when you struggle, share when you win, share when you go out and you have date night, and share when you're eating your salad and veggies and counting your containers and whatever. Like, just take them on that journey with you and show consistency, because they're also thinking in seeing that as they're watching your transformation, they're thinking, oh, so she's working up from home, like she's eating clean, but she's still having fun. She's working on herself. She seems happier than ever. And that's all she's doing. Maybe I can do that too. Even if it's a subconscious thought, people are thinking that it looks so doable when you take them on the journey with you. But I really just encourage you guys to stop selling Beachbody and start selling your lifestyle. And think about what attracted you to your coach. Why did you sign up? And be that person that you needed every day when you're posting in your stories and on your feed. Of course, if you get stumped on what can I post, you can always come back to the vitals. There's tons of ways to share these vitals. So of course, one of them is be proof the products work. So these are sharing things like your workout clips, fitness selfies, new workout gear, show how you make your shake, show you drinking your shake, of course your pre-workout, your Energize. You can hold the product. I'm not a huge fan of that. I prefer to not really use like actual Beachbody terminology. So I will call Shakeology my superfood shake, right? Or I'll be like, tastes like chocolate, acts like 5 plates of salad or whatever. But you can hold the product, or like you saw Letty doing, and I do this all the time. I posted one this morning where I'm holding my drink, my Energize, but I'm not calling it out, right? So you can hold your product and kind of create that curiosity. You can share non-scale victories. You can educate people on different stuff that are in our shakes, or you can educate people on correct form or whatever. But if people come out and like are hating on you in any way, I use the block button almost every day. You're not trying to build a tribe of the whole world. You're just trying to find more yous, right? Remember that? Like, you're not talking to everybody. You're just talking to the more yous out there. And if people bring an asshole to you, that's not a you. That's not someone you're looking for. It's not someone you want on your team. It's not a customer that you want to have. Block them. Don't even think twice about it. Block them. Block, block, block. Don't argue. Don't defend. Like, in the beginning, you'll also get a lot more haters, I feel like, because people have the confidence to do it. I don't hardly get too many haters anymore because I think people know I will squash the shit out of them, because I'm really confident and people know what I'm about. But in the beginning, I got a lot more, like, you know, people talking shit on Shakeology and promoting their own thing, or like saying results are photo. Fine. Like, you don't have to argue. You don't have to defend anything that you're doing. Block them, even if they're family. I even blocked family because there's no room in my life for toxic anymore. So, all right, personal development. Of course, you know you need to do it daily, but also share your takeaways. Show that you're doing it. One of the things that I show in my story every day, except for the weather's shitty now and also Rope is hurt, but it was me walking my dog every day listening to personal development, and I share what I'm listening to. And then on my captions, sometimes I'll include quotes, but you are growing, so talk about how you're growing. Share, and sometimes it's not even talking about it, it's just showing. You're evolving as a human being. Cut out negativity. I've talked about on social media before, like, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news. I don't care about the news. And if I don't know what's going on in the world and I look ignorant, that's a risk I'm willing to take because I don't need that negativity. My husband loves the news, and it's an argument that we get into. But personal development, I feel like everybody in the world needs it. Don't be afraid to talk about that on your social media and help people think differently. You know what personal development does for your brain. Share that with other people. And attend live events. 100% you should go to live events. Okay, recognition. So there's tons of ways to recognize. Of course, you can do, transformations of your challengers, or if you don't have a whole bunch of people that you're coaching right now, it can be even teammates on your team that have that. You can shout out people in your groups on your team. You can even shout out like friends and family, give people compliments. You can recognize yourself, right? This photo was one that I posted about when we were recognized as superstar on stage at Summit. And that was like, hey, I'll clap for myself. You can clap for yourself. It's okay. You can clap for your team members. And I think I've already mentioned this, but putting recognition in stories is awesome. And in the beginning, when you don't have a bunch of team or a bunch of challengers, really just complimenting goes a long way. So that is like interacting, going on someone's picture and complimenting them on their kids, or like sending them a private message and saying you think they're so funny, or you love how they're such an advocate for animals or whatever. I remember I did that. I sent this girl, I was following her. I was like liking and engaging on her post. And then I finally sent her a thing saying, I'm just so inspired about the way you advocate for animals. And, that started a conversation back and forth. She ended up buying a challenge pack and signing up to be a coach on the team. Like, the conversations can start from anywhere. You can recognize people for any kinds of things. And then, of course, share, connect, invite. So yeah, you share your transformations inside and out. You can do a hard invite where you like message someone. You can do a hard invite as a public post, but you got to make those connections also behind the scenes. So when you're sharing your journey, you're posting on social media, you're, having eye-catching photos and storytelling captions, or like funny captions, or something that they're going to get something out of your captions. And then you're starting conversations. You're going to other people's pages. You're commenting on their stuff. Then you're sending private messages behind the scenes. You are connecting with people. And then you're inviting them. You're inviting them publicly, and you're inviting them privately to be a part of your group, to be a part of your life, to engage back with you, to be your friend. Like, there's all kinds of ways that you can invite, but share, connect, and invite. And, there's tons of ways that you can do this. Like, you can put up on your story. I see a lot of people doing now, they'll like put a poll up, like, and they'll put both. So instead of like one being a yes, I'm in option, like it'll be talking about coaching, and it'll be like, are you interested in joining or whatever? And one will be like, hell yes, sign me up or something. And the other one will be like, I'm interested, just need more info, instead of hell yes, sign me up first, not interested. So have both of them be positive, and then you can reach out to anybody. One of the things that Emily Favre does a lot is she'll ask for them to like just send her a message with an emoji. Just send me like, type in this chat box or comment on this post with an emoji, and then she reaches out to every single one of them. But make sure, especially if you want to be diamond and you want to hit Success Club and you want to move beyond diamond, you've got to be inviting daily, and not just in a public way, in a private way too. All right, setting up your week, thinking about how you're posting and when you're going to post. So this is kind of, I don't do a ton of thinking about it, but I have some things that I think about like in general when I want to throw out my week. So usually on Friday and Saturday, I'm not doing like any huge, hey, invite, transformation posts or an invite, because people are heading into the weekend. They're not thinking about, ooh, I want to lose weight on a Friday night. Right? But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are great posts for inviting. It's a great time to send those messages as well, to invite people. You can do a Motivation Monday. A lot of times my Motivation Monday is part of my personal development. You can do a Transformation Tuesday, your transformation or somebody else's. Sometimes you can just stop, drop, and selfies. So Wednesday can be what I'm doing right now, which is literally stop, drop, and selfie, let people into your world. You can share, there's a What I Ate Wednesday, that's a thing. So you can share your food diary that day. Of course, you've heard of Throwback Thursday. I also love Thankful Thursday, and that's a day we get paid. And I also want to encourage you guys to, you don't have to like say exactly what you're making, but I encourage you guys to share how coaching is helping you. Now, if you're hitting Success Club, you're at least getting your products paid for. There are some people that would do anything. They would love to do what we're doing, and they don't think that they can afford it. But if they just help 3 people, they could. Like, they get theirs free. Some of you probably couldn't afford it when you signed up, and maybe you can't now, and that's why you have to help 3 people so you can get your stuff paid for. You can talk about all the other things, like maybe you're able to go on date night. Maybe I still remember one of the stories that I heard Steph Davies talk about a long time ago was one of her coaches, her now elite coaches, joined her because Steph made a post about how she was able to buy organic produce instead of the regular. It was just like, though, that's a few dollar difference. And that made a huge difference for somebody, right? That Steph was talking to. So I love the Thankful Thursday. You can do Feature Friday. You can do Flex It Friday. There's all kinds of ways. And then Friday and Saturday is really just about lifestyle. I like to, do my inviting kind of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, share transformations and results and stuff like that midweek. And then end of the week is more kind of like lifestyle-y stuff, because I don't want to put up anything that I want a ton of people to see on the weekends, because people are having fun and they're doing whatever. And think about what people are thinking about. So are they thinking on Sunday night, like, oh God, okay, I got to start over again tomorrow? Yeah, most people are. Most people really struggle with the weekend. So that's a great time to offer them some inspiration, let them know that you're there, send an invite out, message them, do a bunch of messages on Sunday or Monday. Like, think about what they're thinking about and then post in accordance with that, right? And at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is we can't overthink how we show up on social media. We've just got to show up. We care so freaking much about everybody else and what they think of us. But here's what I know. When I joined this company in 2012, I was so insecure. I didn't leave it ever, like any conversation, without playing back everything that was said and feeling like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. They probably think I'm an idiot. What are they thinking? And I still struggle with that. There was just an event that happened at Superstar that I thought about like all night and the next morning. And I asked Autumn, who was my guest, I asked her twice about it. Then I asked Emily about it, because I still do it. But so like old habits die hard, but it's just something I'm always challenging. Like I still am just showing up being me. And the more I do that, the more I'm okay with being me, and the fewer and fewer times that I second guess things. But I know that when I signed up, I didn't think I could inspire anybody. I didn't think I had a story to tell. I did not think that I would ever like have any followers or build a team, because I thought so little of myself. And I cared so much about everybody else's opinions that's how I lived my life, in accordance with what they thought. And this is a picture from my diamond retreat this year. After we went to Superstar, I was able to bring all of these women to Santa Monica, and let me look. I knew one of them, this girl, Rachel. with this rock star hat on. I knew one of them before coaching, and I wasn't even like stay friends with her. We were acquaintances. So she wouldn't probably even be in my life now if it weren't for coaching. And I just think like, man, you 5 years from now, fast forward, and you can either let other people's opinions control you, or you can think 5 years from now, how do I want to live? And do I want it to be on my terms? And of course you do. We get one life. We get one shot at this. So the next time you want to post something and you think, I better not because, you know, this person at my church will probably judge me, or like that neighbor's going to judge me, or my mother-in-law is going to judge me, or like, well, what if I put the swear word in and people don't like it? Cool. You are allowed to be you, and you are the only, like, there's nobody else exactly like you, right? You are the unique piece of you. So show up. Care less about other people's opinions. I'm going to talk more about this on Saturday's video. But just if you're insecure about it at all now and you're not really sure who you are, because I didn't know who I was, just start posting and you will find your voice. You know, you can just tiptoe a little bit in the beginning, but I really feel like it's okay to have haters. It's okay to have people unfollow you. That means that you at least have flavor. If you're turning some people off, you're going to turn the right people on. All right, now I'm going to see how can I stop this share, because why, I don't understand. Why am I in this? Here, stop share. There we go. Wow, there's 95 things in the chat. Okay, well, I don't know. I will try to see if I can get to these questions. Let me just see if you guys have questions. Oh my gosh. Oh, good. I was in a screen where I guess I couldn't see any of this. I didn't even know you guys were chatting. Oh yeah. Oh shoot, I don't know at what point you asked this. You said, what about for the ones who are just starting, like myself? Monica, if you could clarify, let me know. Emily said I should make my own personal development podcast. I am making a podcast right now in the works with my bestie, but it's not personal development. It's a drinking podcast. So maybe we'll sprinkle some PD in there every now and then. Okay. Oh yeah, look, Angie said she blocked family this week. Yeah, girl. Jade said I addressed a hater the other day because I was fed up of their shit, blocked them afterwards, which I hadn't responded. So sometimes haters are really good for engagement. So sometimes if I have a hater, I will go on my stories, because the people that watch your stories are your diehards. Those are people that like really, they love you the most. They know you the most. So, John asked me if I want gluten-free pizza. Yes, I do. So sometimes I'll go on my story and I'll be like, you guys, this person, this comment, blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell them about the comment, and then they go and they like, some people are like, don't give attention to the haters. I'm like, no, this is for engagement, boo. Don't you worry. So, because at this point, haters don't affect me at all. Very rarely does someone say something that like really stings. Usually, I just feel bad for them. But sometimes I'll call attention to a hater and then I'll block them, you know, but I'll get a little engagement boost out of it. Like one time when we were in Mexico for the Success Club trip, I posted a picture of me with a drink in my hand. And this girl commented like, here she is, another drink in her hand. Doesn't even know where her kid is. Lets her kid get sunburned, irresponsible mother. And instead of blocking, talked about it on stories, and I made a post about it or something. And then like that shit blew up and it went to the explore feed. And then I blocked her, you know, later, but I got a little boost out of it first. But you can't let haters get to you. Like I could have been like, oh my God, what are people thinking? Do I look like an alcoholic mother? The thing is I don't care if I look like an alcoholic mother to some people. If I look like an alcoholic mother to some people, then I am not there. Like they're not my people. I'm looking for the people that are moms and still want to have a good time and know that it's not, that those aren't separate universes. You're allowed to be a mom and drink and still be able to take care of your kid. Like, so if there's people, and there's people on this call that might disagree with me, cool. You're probably not my tribe, boo. And you're probably like, that is why there are 400,000 coaches. I mean, Melanie, Mitro, and I attract probably opposite ends of the spectrum, which is why we both need to exist. Like if you look at the top 10 coaches, we're all so different. Even Emily, who's my personally sponsored coach, like one of my best friends, and we run our businesses so differently. We attract very different people. That's why we all need to exist. That's why you need to exist, because you're going to attract your kind of people. You're going to offend people, and that's rad, because again, if you are turning some people off, you're going to turn the right people on. Okay. Oh, Taryn, thank you. Oh, okay. Get me on that podcast. Off topic. If a coach under you signs a coach to become Emerald, does that count as one of the 6? It needs to be coaches signed by you. So if it's you signing under your spouse, then that counts. But if it's one of your coaches signing a coach, then that does not. You personally need to sign 6 coaches. And it can be under an account that you can control, but not your coaches signing, right? It's not 6 coaches to your team. It's 6 coaches that you're signing. Do I post on Facebook? Yes, I do. But there's no rhyme or reason. So there's no right or wrong answer there. Some people have more, like Holly Hillier. I was shocked this weekend to learn that her Facebook like page is still her number 1 like traffic like driver, whatever. My Facebook like page does shit for me. Some people primarily use their Facebook personal page. They don't even use their like page. And I kind of use that here or there. It's kind of spotty. My main thing is Instagram right now. It used a year ago was Facebook. So, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just kind of play around and figure out where you want to be and where people are responding. Okay, shock factor. This call needs to be in my welcome email. Okay, all right. How to use hostage in your posts. I have no idea. Oh, hashtag in your posts. So I don't know the rules on that. You probably need to Google it at this point. I don't use hashtags in my posts anymore, but I do know that they no longer can be in a comment. They need to be, like it used to be, you make your post and then the hashtags need to be in the comment. You use 30 of them. Social media is changing all the time. So you need to stay up on it. And there's a ton of podcasts you can listen to. Chalene Johnson usually covers things. I don't know the right answer to the hashtag thing right now. And I don't want to tell you the wrong answer. So I would GTS. Google that shit. How do you feel about posting your workout videos every day on your story? I feel like if you want to do it, then you do it. A lot of people I follow do that every day. I skip right through them because I think it's boring. So then I don't post it because I think it's boring, right? But they post it every day, which means they're getting traction from it. Like people like seeing it. So I feel like you do you, boo. Start doing things like this is honestly how you learn what you want to post and what people want to see is you just start posting, and things that resonate will, like I always listen, like Gary Vee is like, let the market decide. The market dictates everything. So if you could think you put up like the best post in the world, and if it doesn't do anything, doesn't matter if it's the best post in the world because the market told you it wasn't, right? Or you put up a post, like the post that I put up that went viral a couple years ago, Friday afternoon, 2:30. I just told you in this presentation and not put up like your best content on the weekends. Friday afternoon at 2:30 West Coast, which means it's 5:30 prime happy hour time East Coast on Friday. Put up this post, went viral. Like, I don't know. But that also was the shift where that shifted my brand. Clearly that resonated. So that's why now self-love is like a big part of my brand. But I listen to the market and you should too. My unicorn slippers are from Amazon. All right, you guys. Thank you for being on. Oh, Emily Birds. Quick question on following up on engagement from posts and stories. It can be tough to keep track of Instagram direct messages without a business profile because you can't flag messages. Do people work more through email or DMs? I have moved everything over to email, but Emily Favre keeps messages right where they're at. So if they start on Instagram, she goes through the whole Instagram process and enrolls them there. Again, if you are struggling with it, then you need to change something, right? There are some of these, like a lot of questions regarding social media, there isn't really right and wrong answers. I think it's playing around and finding what works for you. But I now have converted to email. That doesn't mean that's the right thing. But if you're struggling with Instagram direct messages, then it sounds like you need to either find a new system or hire an assistant and outsource. Well, no, okay. So Shade 530 said, in the beginning, posting your workout is crucial so that people understand what you're doing, what you're about, and it holds you accountable. I post my workout every day. Like, I'm on my stories saying I'm about to push play, drinking my unicorn drink, whatever. And then I'll do like my post, like, oh my God, did my workout today. But I just don't put my actual moves up on stories. So yes, I think you should share that you're working out every day. That should be a part of your story. I just thought your question was, should I put my actual clips of my workout up? And that's a personal choice. All right, you guys, I'll let you go. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm excited to bring you some more amazing, I have some of my bomb coaches that are going to share with you stuff this week, and then I will be back with you Saturday. And I'm also going to put up a post called Ring the Bell. It's kind of like Light the Jack-o'-lantern, where I want you to comment every time, and we'll leave it up for the next 3 weeks of this group. Every time you sign a coach or sell a challenge pack, somehow grow your team and get a step closer to diamond. I guess it's only signing a coach, not selling a challenge pack. Well, selling a challenge pack to a coach maybe. But anyway, you'll ring the bell and we're going to light that shit up. All right. Bye.